Welcome to Sound Check with Pastor Isaac. Guess what? We're back again this week and we're excited because my son Josh is joining us again. Welcome to people, Josh.
Hey, thanks for having me again, everybody.
We'd love for you to share this. I'm sure there's going to be some things that you hear today that is going to be not just for you, but for some of your coworkers, maybe your family or your neighbors. So please make sure you share this, make sure you like it, and send it to somebody because they need to hear about the Lord. And so Joshua's been saved for a while, and he's, told you about that. And looking at other episodes, I'll put it at the bottom so you'll see which one it was. You can go back and check that out. But I also want to go ahead and let him fire off some rapid fire questions for me. Of course, he's got some more, so I hope I can answer them.
Just like I said, something to change it up a little bit. All right, nothing too serious. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
That's a good question. I actually have a couple of books in mind. One of them is going to be about the pandemic and talk about the first 100 days of how God brought me through that.
That's awesome.
And the thoughts that I had, hopefully they'll help somebody else.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Would you ever try stand-up comedy?
You know what? I would, but I don't like eggs and cabbage and tomatoes. So
You're I think you're actually really funny, but it's like you have to know you to know like the jokes. Like you have me laughing all the time. So
okay.
I think you would actually be pretty good stand-up comic.
Okay.
You have very dry humor, but it's hilarious. What game show do you think you could win, if any?
That's a good question. I would love to say Jeopardy, but I'm not that smart. And so I probably couldn't get that one. My wife would do good on Wheel of Fortune. Because she could put those puzzles.
She can see one letter up. Like, how do you know that with one letter?
So which one would I do?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't have an answer for that one. I can't give you that one. I don't know.
All right, we'll let you skip that one. All right. Finally, where would you go on a mission trip if you could?
I love South Africa. I love Lesotho. Those are the two places God's put on my heart. I also want to go to Kenya one day.
That's awesome.
Because Bishop Emmanuel's there, and I know the work is something that we definitely need to do.
Right.
The work of the ministry here in the United States is different. I would just tell everybody, go on one mission trip, at least one in your lifetime, and that'll change your whole perspective of who God is and who you are in the body of Christ. It'll give you a whole nother thing. So Josh, when are you going?
We ain't been planning any for a while. I mean, whenever the next one is, I'd be open to do it for sure.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Y'all heard that, right? All right. Welcome to Sound Check in South Africa. And so we're gonna have him up on there.
That would actually be kind of cool. I like that. That's a cool idea.
All right, so now I'm gonna rapid fire him a question. Now,
here we go.
what was your favorite memory, or what are one of your favorite memories as we were kids? Now, as kids, I love going to water places. I love going to the river. I love going to the beach. We used to go down walking on the James River on the rocks, and I had 4 boys out there. My whole goal was to make sure everybody was safe, and I was gonna bring everybody back with no broken bones, all their teeth in their head, and we would go down to Buckrow Beach, and Mom would be out working, but I would have a day off, and so I'm packing up the kids. We're going to the beach. Or that time, all of us, including Tanya, we all went to the Mattapanai River, and we just canoed out there.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
So what? Not even if it's a water thing, what would you say would be your favorite memory?
Favorite? That's tough. So I have two. Can I do two?
Yeah.
I have 2 core memories that just I always go back and think about. One is Robinson Park, right down from our old house down in Highland Springs.
I think about that a lot too.
I just remember it was me and Aaron versus you and Matt or you and Tim and playing basketball.
Right.
And me and Aaron, we're trying our hardest playing basketball. You're basically Jordan. You're just pow. Your Shaq just smack all the balls out the way.
That's right.
Sitting getting over I don't know if you could dunk, but it was just flushing it. We're just man, we can't beat you. What is it? Even though we could never win, it was always fun. I just remember that was always a good time. The other one is the rocks. I always love just going to the rocks, jumping. It was always like an adventure, skipping on the rocks. I remember one time I was overconfident and I tried to jump on a rock and I fell in the water. I don't know if you remember that. You pulled me out. I was soaking wet. But I was I used to love the rocks, just going down to the James. And then sometimes it'd be too high. So oh well. But that's definitely a core memory I always think about when I think of my best day and stuff like that.
Yeah. Going to those places was something that I wanted to expose you all to, but I also was very nervous and apprehensive to take you all there because I was like, I got to bring these boys back home because mama is not going to be happy if I'm missing one. And so just as God always watches over us and protects us with whatever we're doing, he's always with us. I was always right there watching you all. And so I could see God working as I was helping you all. I can see how God helps us even now.
I'm amazed you could handle all four of us. Just with Yard running around sometimes, I'm just like, do I really want another one? And like, you did it with 4? I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, you all about 2 years apart.
I know, just all scattered.
Right.
But more props to you.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Josh. Since you're here with our people today, our listeners, we are in a pandemic still. We're at the end of it. Hopefully, it's not gone away.
It's up in the air at this point.
And we've noticed that there's been a great falling away of people, throughout not just our church, but throughout all the churches that I've been talking to, pastors even overseas. And one of the big demographics that's missing are the people your age, the people that are younger than you, the people that are even teens through the 20s, through the 30s. What would you say about that?
Just like in church in general, just not.
Yeah, not ours in particular, but has God been speaking to you about that?
That is something I've observed a lot. Like, you're absolutely right. I honestly just feel like there's just this big decline in just, I guess, like, to go even broader than just church. Just a lot of people do not like, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Just religion in general.
Okay.
That's not the word I was looking for, but
right.
like, I guess formal religions. People are more like on this like spiritual wave. I'm on TikTok a lot. Okay. So a lot of times I'll like go through stuff. You'll see these videos, people, they're spiritual. They're not religious. They don't believe in, they might believe in like a higher power. Okay. They'll believe in like crystals or like rocks and stuff. And if your chakras are together, then like you say like these words of affirmation. A lot of the stuff is still stuff that's like, it's essentially still based in Christianity or in like just religion. But it's like, I guess they try to shift it to, to fit their views or their values and stuff like that.
Right.
And talking to just like people like my age, stuff like that, a lot of them, they still have that yearning to be a part of that. They still want to be part of God. You know?
Okay.
They still want to feel, so they know something's out there. I think honestly, a lot of it comes to like church hurt. That's just the word for it. So a lot of people, they went to a church and someone looked at them wrong, or they said something about their outfit, or they sat there and they made them feel bad. And so now they relate that to, well, all church is bad. All church people are fake, and I don't want to deal with people like that.
Right.
And like I said, I had one friend of mine in particular. They came up to me and it was like, basically like, you're not the same person I thought you were when I first met you. I was like, what do you mean by that? Okay. Like, yeah, you're real churchy. I thought you would just be real like churchy. I'm like, what does churchy mean? Like, what is that? And basically just holier than thou. Like, I guess they call it holy rollers back in the day. Like, you're too good to do stuff. And I think I shared a little bit last time I was on here, just like my doubts and my stuff. I haven't even like really delved into it. I have lots of things that I've struggled with. But in those struggles, it's kind of humbled me. And it's kind of helped me look at something, and it's helped me, I guess, not come from like a judgmental, I'm better than you sort of thing.
Right.
I'm coming from like, look, we've all gone through our own, like, we all have our cross to bear, you know?
Right.
And so just because you're struggling with something that I'm not necessarily struggling with, I'm not going to sit there and judge you for that. Because at the end of the day, I have the things I'm trying to work on myself with, you know what I mean? So I think look, I'm a human being, because a lot of times people think you go to church, like you're immune to sin for some reason. You're immune to temptation. And like, you never had to go through that. You never struggled. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm a human just like everybody else. We have the same things. It's just we strive to be better. We strive to be more. But at the end of the day, it's not us. It's God.
That's it.
That's the whole point of being a Christian. Is like, we realize we can't do it.
Right.
I realize I'm not perfect. I can't fix the stuff that I need to be fixed. So it's like, I have to rely on God to fix it for me, you know? So, and talking to him, and like, just, I don't even like, I guess preach. Like, it's like, I just try to walk the best walk I can. And people notice that. It's amazing how much people pay attention to you.
That is your preaching.
Right.
You know, we're what the Bible called a living epistle, or a book that actually people can see it. You know, they see the life in you.
Right. And that testimony just goes so much further. But like I said, to, I guess, go back to the original question, a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people where they just feel like, all the church wants is your money. All the church wants is you just to sit there and pay your offering, and they don't care about you. And then like we're held to a higher standard, which we should be. We should, as Christians, be held to a higher standard. But I think sometimes people forget there are people in the church. Like, we're all humans in the church. Like, God is perfect. We are not perfect. And the example I always use is like a hospital. Like, you're not going to see a bunch of super healthy people in the hospital. You're going to see people who are broken, who are sick, who are struggling in the hospital. You go to the hospital to get healed. So you're going to see those people getting healed in the church. It's that spiritual healing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I try to tell people that. And some people take it. Some people go, nah, they, like I said, they already have their preconceived notions. Like, no, church ain't for me, whatever. And, it's kind of just like, well, I sowed my seed. It might not be mine to harvest. Somebody else gets it later, and they'll reach out to them for that. So I say my piece and let them go on their journey. Because, like, you never know. You never know how God's going to work through them. So, but it definitely is something I've noticed before. And it's troubling. But I do see there is a yearning for something. And I think the people just don't know what it is. And I guess it's our responsibility to go, that thing you're missing is Jesus. That thing you're missing is God. Because they want it. It's just they're looking for it in all the wrong places, basically.
Right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned those things. A lot of times people do blame a church hurt for being the reason why they don't come, or it could be some other reasons, like you said, the money thing. But my whole thing is, once they know who God is, they'll realize I'm giving myself to him and not necessarily to the people, and the people are going to be there to help me. Like you said, the nurses are there, the doctors are there in the hospital. That's what the pastors are, the ministers, the elders. They're all there to bring you to that place where God needs you to be. And God is using them. He's working through them. And, sometimes you were saying people felt like, oh, you're better than me. Well, guess what? We're not better than anybody.
No,
God graced us to be able to have a relationship with him. And it has nothing to do with us being better. It's because he's better.
Right.
He's making us better a day at a time.
Right. And I guess maybe more, church people, as a whole, we could work on, that saying that. Instead of we're trying to be better. We're trying to be closer to God. But also, it's not us that's making ourselves better. It's Jesus working in us that changes us. You know what I mean? And like I said, I guess more times people see that and they see oh, okay, he's actually a relatable person. Like, I can talk to, kind of what I was saying about last time. I don't know if anybody was paying attention to that, but creating that space where you feel comfortable opening up and being like, hey, I can talk to you and not have the condemnation come on me and go, you're a heathen, you're this, you're that. Having that space to just be able to open yourself up and say, I'm struggling with this, I'm going through this, and not have people sitting there just bombarding you with, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Just having that love and just having that, you know what? I've been through that too, or I haven't been through that, but hey, I'll pray for you, something like that. That goes a long way. Because even sometimes I don't even say anything. I just let them sit there and talk and go, oh, okay, I'm going through this, and that. And sometimes I just listen. Right.
People realize they're in a bad place. People realize the sin is there. So you don't have to point the sin out. They already know they're there. What we have to do is show the love of God. Show that mercy side of God. God is the only one merciful enough to be able to bring them out of it.
Right. I can't do it. None of us can do it. Only God can.
Right.
The best we can do is point them in the right direction. Hey, that's who you want right there.
Right. So you heard it from Josh, everybody. Jesus is the answer. We got to point them to him. We're out of time. God bless you. We'll see you next time.